The Retroid Pocket Flip is a console I've really been looking forward to for quite some time. I'm always excited when Retroid announce a new console, and the previous Retroid Flip was one of their most exciting releases to date. However, the original Flip was riddled with issues. Most noticeably, the build quality was terrible, with the hinge breaking on almost all consoles. But now we have the Retroid Pocket Flip 2, which in theory fixes the issues and adds Retroid Pocket 5 level power. But can Retroid succeed with their second attempt at a flip console, or is it just another flop? I've been using the Retroid Pocket Flip 2 for the past week to answer these questions, and this is what happened. With the first Retroid Flip, I went for the fancy Sport Red model. I really liked the Ferrari style look of it. However, I paid the price for my superficial preference, as the Sport Red was one of the worst for the hinge issues. Also, the idea of a glossy finish was nice, but in reality not great in the hands. This time around, I decided to go for one of the more fun translucent colours. The Ice Blue N64 was always one of my favourite colours, but to date I have never gotten one for the collection. So I decided to do the next best thing and get the Ice Blue Retroid Pocket Flip 2. And I'm really glad I did. Straight out of the box, and the Ice Blue Flip 2 looks absolutely stunning. I absolutely love the deep rich tone of the translucent blue. The Flip 2 instantly feels like a durable console as well. It has a solid and chunky feel that gives you the confidence of a durable laptop. Time will tell if the plastic stands up to the test of time, but first impressions definitely inspire confidence. The design on the lid is interesting too. I don't really get Retroid or retro vibes from it, but I guess it's unique and I like it. The shoulder buttons feel awesome as well, perfectly placed and with a nice amount of analog range. However, when you open the lid, this is where the Retroid Pocket Flip 2 really impresses. The screen looks gorgeous, with glass running right to the edges of the frame, and the controls are perfectly located. The original Flip had sliders for analog sticks located at the bottom of the device. I didn't mind the sliders, but the location wasn't comfortable. The Flip 2, however, has gone for recessed analog sticks perfectly placed in the top quadrants. An absolutely massive improvement that monumentally improves the feel of the console and the enjoyment of playing games. The extra space allowed for on the bottom half of the console provides more plastic to hold on to as well, which surprisingly makes the Flip 2 one of the most comfortable of the top end devices to play on, with the exception of the RG557. Getting to test so many of these devices, I get a bit desensitized to first impressions. But honestly, the Retroid Pocket Flip really impressed me from the outset and has me really excited for the week ahead. Quite often with these devices throughout the week, I'm jumping around from game to game to get a clear understanding of how well emulation performs on them. But to be totally honest, with these top-end Retroid and Anbernic devices now, it feels a bit like Groundhog Day. They've all kind of reached a similar level of PS2 and GameCube emulation, but haven't yet broken through fully to PS3 and beyond. No doubt there are subtle differences between them in terms of power, but most of the performance now is limited by the actual emulators. With that in mind, I decided this week to do something I've wanted to do for a while, and deep dive in Gran Turismo 4 again. I absolutely loved this game when it first came out and played the wheels off it, but other than dipping in and out, I've not really played it again properly since its initial release. Gran Turismo 4 is also one of those games that tests these devices really well. It is one of the harder games to emulate thanks to its graphics and variant track designs, but also being a racing game, it's great for testing out how good the ergonomics and controls are for reactive gameplay. So I decided to focus on Gran Turismo 4 over the week and see how well the Retroid Pocket Flip 2 performs. The first couple of days were absolutely brilliant. The Flip 2 is so comfortable to carry around with you thanks to the protected screen and solid feel. It definitely sits a bit chunky in the pocket, but it feels overall more comfortable as you're not worried about it slipping out, and the rectangle shape works better than some other designs like the RG557 for example. The key for any portable device is how easy it feels to have with you throughout the day and be ready for a quick pick up and play, and the Flip 2 fits the bill perfectly. I was able to get through a huge amount of Gran Turismo 4 in those first couple of days, although it's definitely more challenging than I remember. I'm sure I got all the gold license tests in the past. The Retroid Pocket Flip 2 played GT4 brilliantly as expected, apart from one track. Special Stage Route 5 is a night city track, and the Retroid Pocket Flip 2 struggled a bit with this one. I'm guessing the night lights use a bit more processing power. I turned the resolution down from a 2x to a 1x and made sure the console was on full power and things ran okay. However, it was interesting as I didn't really expect that to happen. Like I said at the start, although these top-end devices can mostly handle PS2 and GameCube with no issues, there are subtle differences that can be found, and I guess this is one of them. After completing the SS Route 5 race, I didn't see any other issues with Gran Turismo 4 and was able to continue enjoying racing with no issues. The week earlier, I did the smart thing by completely smashing my phone screen while getting into my car. I had my phone in my pocket, and as I got in, it slipped out face down. I couldn't be bothered resetting my phone and sending it off to get repaired, only to have to install all of my apps again, so I decided to try and repair it myself. In the middle of the Retroid Pocket Flip 2 challenge, my replacement screen arrived, and I wanted to get my phone fixed as soon as possible. Being the first time I've repaired this kind of phone, I needed to follow a YouTube tutorial, but obviously I couldn't use my phone to follow the tutorial as that's what I'd be repairing. So I decided to use the Flip 2. The Retroid Pocket Flip 2 is perfect for watching videos on. Being like a mini laptop, you can sit it on a table with the screen popped up. There was one issue though. I installed the YouTube app and started up the video only for it to hang a few seconds in. I tried a few different videos and still the same thing. Even after a restart, I still had the issue. It definitely wasn't my internet as everything else worked okay. I decided to do some research and it turns out it's a common issue for the Retroid Pocket Flip 2. It must be a software issue, so hopefully it'll be fixed in a future update. But for now, the solution is to use a different app. I downloaded PlayTube and that worked fine. I cracked on and replaced my phone screen with the help of the Retroid Pocket Flip 2. Ironic really, as smashed screens are not really something you have to be concerned about with the Retroid Pocket Flip 2. I also have to say that after the midweek point, I realized how awesome the Flip 2 battery life is. Although on paper, a lot of handhelds can have similar sounding battery life, the true challenge comes down to sleep mode and how well a device can keep its charge while in sleep mode. And the Retroid Pocket Flip is exceptional, especially considering the power it can output. Throughout the week-long challenge, I was never caught out by the battery being flat. Towards the end of the week, I got round to watching Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. I'm a huge Mission Impossible fan. I love the films and the games, and watching Final Reckoning got me in the mood to finish off Operation Surma. I'd started it at the end of last year on the Retroid Pocket 5, but never ended up completing it. After getting home from the cinema, I loaded up Operation Surma on the Flip 2 and changed my device wallpaper to look like an IMF device. When I said I was a huge Mission Impossible fan, I wasn't joking. I even liked Mission Impossible 2. That night I went so far as to put some of the old Mission Impossible TV episodes on the Flip 2 and thoroughly enjoyed watching them on my IMF device. And this is what I love about the Flip 2. It feels so cool as a handheld device. I absolutely love flip form factor handhelds, and the Retroid Pocket Flip 2 is my absolute favourite. It improves in every way that it needed to over the original design and creates an incredibly versatile, fun, capable and surprisingly ergonomic system. I didn't expect it, but the Retroid Pocket Flip 2 has instantly shot up to the position of my #1 go-to device, beating out the Retroid Pocket 5 Mini NRG 557. It's just such a fun and exciting console to carry around with you and play on, and it feels well protected too. Next week I'm continuing the flip trend and using the RG34XXSP, but despite how much I'm looking forward to that, I can tell you that I'm even more excited to get back to the Retroid Pocket Flip 2. That's how much I love this thing. If you want to get your hands on the Retroid Pocket Flip 2, then links are in the description below. But if flip consoles aren't your thing, then check out this device right here.